what he's plotting against you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. Y'all don't even give a shit about that. You so-called Mexicans don't even work. Y'all don't even care about what's going on over there with the border anymore, man.
That's right.
Y'all motherfuckers are just shit. As long as I'm over here in America, I'm good. Let them deal with it. But not realizing that it's gonna affect you. It's going to affect you, man. Okay? You think he's stopping what he can stop, then he's gonna focus on everybody over here. Once he takes care of that shit, he's gonna come and look for you.
Right.
Okay?
Hey,
La migra, way.
Like it says it, he had a, what's it called? His words were full of smoother than butter and softer than oil, but he had drawn swords. All right, over here he's like, nah, I'm taking care of y'all. Y'all gonna be good. All right, let me just handle my business. And he's over there doing what he has to do, but the whole time he's really planning to destroy everything, man. Death follows wherever he goes. You know?
He wants to take as many people into captivity and destroy as many, man. But he's gonna present that shit. You know, the passports are, I believe now, the passports have a tracking device, if I'm not mistaken. So they're able to pinpoint your passport where you're at, man, when you cross the borders. So with that too is you gotta have knowledge. You cannot be ignorant of Satan's devices, man.
That's right.
At least he get it. How did it say? At least he should get an advantage over us. And it's not possible for him to do that with the elect, because Yahweh already said it's not. If it were possible to deceive the very elect, but it's not possible. You cannot do it. It won't happen. Why? Because the Most High he had revealed the secrets unto the prophets, man. And now the prophets are relaying the information to the other brothers, man, and waking us up and keeping us as watchmen and being circumspect, vigilant. We know who our enemy is. We know that there's a line out there that's roaring and going to and fro through the earth and seeking whom he may devour, man.
That's right.
But he knows that he has to devour you by way of that chip, because that's the ultimate, that's the last thing, man. That's one of the last prophecies that has to be fulfilled, and he knows this.
Let me read this real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1. Our power, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, who at sundry times and in diverse manners speak in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
See how that alarm will get everybody looking and startled? But whenever we come out here preaching the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, no one's affected. Yeah, they'll look, but they ain't really affected by it, man. You know, they ain't really wanting to know what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? They probably don't even give a shit what's going on with that ambulance either. It's like, oh, just another motherfucker that probably got ran over or got hit by a train or some shit. You know?
That's just judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, everything is controlled by the Most High. You see, so that when this chip is presented, the Most High set up those men and those kingdoms. You see, so when that chip is presented, the Most High is letting all this stuff come to pass, man. You know, whether you be willingly ignorant, or you take heed unto the word of the prophets. You see.
This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hand, in their right hand, and in their foreheads.
Hey, free and bond, rich, poor, it doesn't matter what size you are, tall, short, all right, dark, light, it doesn't matter what or who you are. All right, transvestite, whoever the hell you may think you are, the Most High is going to present that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right, and he's going to have you take it. And if you're willful about it, all right, you're gonna end up taking it, man. All right, because I gotta feed my kids, I gotta pay the bills, I gotta pay my truck, I gotta pay this, I gotta do that. All right, you've been programmed since you were little to grow up and pay shit. All right, since you were little, you're already in debt, and that's why this devil has his system set up the way he does, man. You know, there was this joke a while back, this comedian, and he was a supposed Jewish comedian, all right, but he said, all right, out of all the people, what did the white man invent? All right, because the TV was invented by a Jake. All right, all these technological things were invented by Jakes. But what did the white man invent? And he said credit. And everybody started laughing. He's like, no. He's like, just listen now. Listen to what I have to say. The white man invented credit because they went up to the Native Americans and they said, hey, who owns these lands? And the Native Americans were like, nobody. This is nature. It's for all of us. And they said, well, since nobody owns it, now let's just say the white man owns it. All right? And that he was giving credit to himself. You know? And he made a joke and he was like, since I own this land, you guys should get out of my land. You know, and that's exactly how he is with the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Americans. He looks at the Negroes like, we own this place. We own this earth. At the so-called Mexicans, at the so-called Native Americans. See, so he's gonna have all of you take that mark. That word mark means charagma, and it's Strong's G 5480, which means an imprinted or carved mark. All right, an imprinted or carved mark. That word imprint, or that word means to stamp. And that word stamp is to put pressure. You see, so you're really putting pressure into something to inject it into something else. You see, but we're gonna get into that. Go to Leviticus 19 and 28.
This is Leviticus 19 and 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh.
That's right. Don't make any cuttings in your flesh. And like the brother was reading and brought that out in Malachi 4. Let me get that real quick. It's Malachi 4, chapter 4, verse 4, remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, with the statutes and judgments. You see, so that, hey, taking that RFID call, that RFID chip is a judgment call. You see, are you going to take it? Because then you would be going against the Levitical law. You see, if you call yourself an Israelite, you know, you have a lot of these blacks only Israelites. All right, well, if you call yourself an Israelite, are you going to take the RFID chip? No.
Read it again. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. All right. So you got guys. We had one dude over there in Florida that was part of GMS, and now he said, I think his channel's like XGMS, whatever else he has out there. But he's saying that this is for the dead, which is true. But through the spirit, Esau is a dead man. So you're making cuttings in your flesh for the dead, man, when you take that chip. Because that chip is going to be by way of being pricked. You're going to be pricked. And blood is going to be drawn, man. And what is blood? What does blood do? Well, you have to have a blood. Blood has to be involved in order for that contract or that covenant, promise, whatever your agreement. Blood has to be drawn, man.
That's right.
Okay? When it's for real, in the ancient time, that's how it was. Okay, so Esau knows this. He has to prick you and get into that blood. That's why he draws your blood. He has samples of your blood. He has your DNA, all that shit, because he knows everything starts with the blood. What does the scripture say? The life resides in the blood. Okay, so it says you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. So you're doing this shit for a so-called white man, Esau, man. Your oppressor, your captor, the one that caught you and brought and held you and put you into slavery, man. You Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. You know, especially the so-called Mexicans and Latin tribes, y'all bow down to Esau like a mug, man. It's crazy how y'all bow down, but that's prophecy because scriptures say Issachar was going to bear his shoulder to bear and give himself over to tribute, man.
That's right.
You know, so the so-called Mexicans, the reason you are the way you are is because of that very reason, that prophecy. You haven't broke out of that mentality of being a man of the Lord, man, that stands up against evildoers, against or denounce unrighteousness or evil things, because the Most High hasn't opened that up to you yet. But once He opens you up to that spiritual man, you're gonna be as a man that's on the highways and the byways. You ain't gonna put up with their shit.
That's right.
They're gonna know by looking at you that you're a man that will catch on to bullshit, that will catch on to lies, and they'll know in the back of the head that this man, I'm gonna have to deal with him because he's gonna see through me. A spiritual man will see through bullshit. That's why carnal people can two walk if they be agreed. Okay? So that's why us brothers are coming up to the highways and the byways saying that we're warning you of that coming chip, man, the RFID chip. Because only the spiritual men have the ability to tell you these things, man. And actually warn you of them.
In the movies, all right, when you see movies of what is that stupid ass movie called something my birthday or some shit like that, but what the movie and the plots are, you know, when you dream and you wake up and then you go through your life and someone that you care for dies or you die, all right, then you go back in time, you know, and you wake up again, you're like, oh shit, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I just saw that yesterday in a kids show. All right, he wakes up, he gets hit by bees, and then he goes downstairs, gets pranked by his sister. All right, then he goes to school and gets hit in the nuts. All right, so he had a shitty day. So he wakes up again, and he's like, nah, hell no, I'm not doing any of that. So he closes his window so the bees don't get him. He goes downstairs and he scares his sister so she won't scare him. Goes to school and he whoops that kid's ass before he gets him. All right, and in all these movies, what they do is they try to correct what's going to happen. All right, you have all these movies that show you this evil thing that's going to happen. Final Destination. What do they try to do? They try to correct time. What's going to happen? All right.
They call like premonitions, time travel.
That's right.
They showed it in the Avengers too, the Endgame. They did that.
That's right.
You saw go ahead with your point.
But Khan, like the brother was saying, man, all these movies that are showing these things, all right, really what it's telling us is like in the movie Matrix, Oracle, which to be an oracle means to be a prophet, all right, a sayer, you know. So she was a prophet. Neo was the one, all right. Then you have Morpheus and Trinity, which were the ones that were following. A multitude of people that followed, you know, symbolically would be Yahweh Shai, you know. And then you have the prophets that were preparing the way for that evil man. And who was that evil man? That agent, Smith, which is Esau Edom. You know, he's the one that's infecting this whole world with himself. You know, having everybody look like him, just like the Most High. All right, he wants to be just like the Most High. You see, so in these movies, when they're telling you these future events, and then they go back in time and they try to correct it, really, that's the prophets out in the highways and the hedges telling you the things because we've seen it, because we've dreamt it, because we know it. All right, so we're out here telling y'all what it really is, you know, so you can take heed. You know, if you have a dream that you and your woman or you and your mom are walking across the street and the car hits her, and then you wake up and you're scared and you go about your day and you're walking your mom across the street, what you gonna do? Hey, mom, chill. Let's go around. We don't have to go there today. You're gonna try and prolong that time. You know, that's why the things, like it says in Hebrews 1:1, it was shown to the prophets, so the prophet could speak for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to the people, to his people. You know?
I got this real quick. Romans 15 and 15:2. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even Yahweh Shai Mashiach pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproached thee fell on me. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So everything was written for our learning. So once we learn, tell everyone, our neighbor, for his good to edification. To tell you the things that are coming, the things that are unseen. But through the Spirit, we have seen them. Why? Because we know this. We know through the Scripture. This is that oracle, like the brother had mentioned. This is the Holy Spirit, man, the Comforter. Okay. You know, this is our blueprint. Okay. This is our crystal ball. This is the Urim and the Thummim. The future events, okay? When everybody else is against it, you know. But then they'll have those little moments that, oh yeah, and see that shit.
Yeah, it always does that. I don't know why.
You know, but yeah, these people that have these little moments in their life, and be like, oh man, you know, the Lord or God, oh man, that's in the Bible, but then. You know what I'm saying? They're not fully though. You know what I'm saying? They're not fully persuaded. They just use it when it's convenient for them, or they're feeling all emotional and shit. You know? Right. But like the brother was saying, everything that was written was for our learning. You know, and so through these we have comfort through the scriptures, man. And we have to go out there and tell the people that want to take heed to it, to hold on to it. And to use it to know how to navigate and what to say yes to and no to. And the chip being primarily the subject that we're speaking on, you gotta say no to that chip, man. That RFID chip or Veri chip, VERI chip, okay? Whatever else Esau, the biometrics or whatever else he has out there, you know, he has all kinds of titles for all kinds of shit. Stay away from it, man. Do not accept it because you're gonna have a horrible death. A horrible punishment, like the brother brought out Leviticus 19, making no cuttings in your flesh. That's a breaking of the law, right? Not all sin is worthy of death, though. You know, you have time to get it right. You know, so once you take that chip, though, that's it. There's no that you're sealed. Your fate is done. You're done. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that you broke the law, okay? So, but don't get it twisted, because cutting your flesh doesn't mean you're automatically gonna be put to death. You know, right. You know, some brothers have tattoos. That doesn't mean that they're gonna be put to death. You know, if you take that chip, you will be put to death.
Read that Leviticus 19.
Okay. Leviticus 19 and verse 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh.
See, that word cuttings means sharat in the Hebrew, which means an incision, a cut. All right, when you get an incision, all right, that's when you cut your flesh open and you put something inside. You see, like I was mentioning earlier about an imprintment or a stamp. Is when you put pressure down on something. You know, and that stake, you know, which we'll go into it also in Revelation 13, you know, but that word mark means kwai, which also means an incision and a cut, you see, and an instrument, you see. So we're not supposed to be getting those type of technological things put inside of us, man. You know, the body rejects it automatically, you know.
Yeah, you know, the body is an amazing, I don't know what you want to call it, creation by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, because it protects the soul, the spirit, because this is the body. The body is a house for our spirit, man, our soul. You see what I'm saying? So, like the brother said, when something that doesn't belong in there, you know, the white cells, the blood cells, all those, you know, the red cells, all that, it goes to those things, and it's trying to figure it out, read it, you know. It may even cause confusion within your body, the way it's supposed to naturally fight off infections and viruses because of that one little device, you know. So there's innumerable things that can happen just based off having that chip in you. But the end result is death by way of fire, man.
My chick, she likes to watch what is it called, Grey's Anatomy. All right, and you have a lot of shows in show, which they're surgeons, you know, where a lot of parts in those shows, they'll show you exactly what's going on. They'll have a breakdown of everything, you know. But when they go into a transplant, all right, an organ transplant, all right, say that kid had a liver or a kidney or whatever had to be transplanted from another person, even if it's 100% perfect match, sometimes the body will attack that liver, even if it means to kill itself, you know. So in much likeness, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to look at our people, and if we're not in the way that we should be, all right, if we're not in the right state of mind, if we're going up against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of his ways, all right, he's gonna put you to death. All right, like the brother was saying, ultimately that's your punishment, death. All right, in the lake of fire, which is the ICBM missile. You know, you got that. Can you get that in Exodus 21, and we'll start off at verse 1.
This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. Who was them? The Israelites. If thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing.
Right. The reason why I had that brother read that is just to make the point that, you know, this right here is pertaining to those old times when Hebrews would buy Hebrews, you know. But what we're gonna get into is there's certain type of piercing that was permitted, that was okay, and there's other type of piercing that will not be allowed. Like the brother was saying, the wages of taking the RFID chip is death. You know?
And going like it's a circumcision. Abraham cut the flesh.
That's right.
You know,
right.
But that wasn't the sin. That wasn't going against Yahweh Shah's law. Okay. So like the brother's saying, you know, people say, oh, because the Bible contradicts you. No, man. There's an unrighteous thing. There's an unrighteous. Righteous and unrighteousness. So it says, going back to Exodus 21 and 3, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and shall have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's.
And right now you look at this life, we're all in captivity, man. We're all slaves. All right, so really, yeah, Esau allowed you to get married. All right, Esau allowed you to get a woman. He allowed you to do all these things that you're doing right now. You know, but like the brother's gonna be going into, all right, you have to make a choice. Whether it's Yahweh Hashem Yahushua or your kid, all right, or your wife, it might come down to that. And we have to be prepared. We have to not be ignorant of Esau's devices.
And you got to remember that, like the brother said, here it's referring how Israelites are supposed to deal with Israelites.
That's right.
Now, you go into the time of Pharaoh, right, the Hamites, he didn't want to let the Israelites go, right? They were there, what, 400 years? Captivity, slavery, hard bondage. So that shit was way overdue, expired, man.
That's right.
So they broke the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Why do you think he jacked them up so much? Because they had far exceeded that, you know, that order.
That's right.
And they continued to lay sore strokes upon the people, the Israelites. You see? So it's the same thing here, man. The heathens are not gonna do that. They're not gonna let go of an Israelite. They're not gonna let you go free with your woman. You watch some of these movies about when the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom were put into captivity over here. They would take the woman and the children away from the mother, the children from the mother, the father, and the wife away from the husband, and vice versa. And they'll be split up. Like I watched the movie on Netflix too. I think Netflix or Hulu, called The Book of the Negroes, when they were bringing the Israelites from over the west borders of Africa, man. Well, there was a woman that, you know, she was a little child when she was put into captivity, and she met a man. She was in love with him. They split him up, you know. And that's what Esau's doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Esau's doing that same shit, that wicked shit. You know, kidnapping, human trafficking. He did it not too long ago over here on the Mexican border. When he took the kids away from the parents, man. You know, you're it's written in history that you're a murderer, you're a thief. You rape, rob, and kill and destroy. And you did it recently. You're caught red-handed, man. You cannot escape the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Being sought out, you're being found out, being naked, all right? You're being seen for who you really are, a damn devil.
Yeah, and like it said, if his master have given him a wife, she have borne him sons or daughters. The wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself.
And what's one of the biggest battles that we have to face when you're in the truth? All right, a woman. A woman is one of the biggest battles. She's trying to do her own thing. All right, no, I want to go do this. I want to celebrate Mother's Day. I want to go do it for the kids. And I told her, I was like, yo, when was the last time you remember a fucking Easter bunny celebration that you had? Well, I don't. Exactly. So how are you doing it for the kids if you don't even remember? I don't remember that shit growing up. You know, that stuff is not important, man. You know, you have to make sure that your priority is set straight in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, yeah, you have worldly priorities, taking care of your woman, taking care of your kids, your bills, what have you. All right, but ultimately it should be Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai all the way, man. You know, like Mark, like Matthew. All right, they all said the apostles would ask Yahweh Shai, hey, we left all these things for you. And Yahweh Shai answered, you didn't leave anything for me. Really, you gained. You know, what happened to Job? Job lost his woman because she was being like the other women. You know, foolish. He lost his kids. And what happened at the end? Job was even more rich than he was before.
He was increased, you know, double, you know, because of his faithfulness, you know what I'm saying? This is Proverbs 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing. And you have to understand that, man, because these women will bring you to that state of going off, man. They'll bring you down.
That's right.
They'll destroy you. You know?
That's right. Hey, and truth will prevail, man. You know, like it says in 1 Ezra, the truth is stronger than a woman. A woman, her, just by moving her finger, she made a king move. She slapped the king and took his crown, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. But the truth is stronger than a woman. It will prevail. So if you hearken to your woman more than Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, then guess what? The truth is still going to prevail over you. All right, let no man take thy crown. You see?
The scriptures say, not in the book of Sirach, not to let your wife or your children have power over you, or anything have power over you.
That's right.
Going to Exodus 21:5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
Yeah, that word awl and that word bore, all right, it's really an instrument that you use to make that. All right, it's the same instrument that's going to be used in the time of the RFID chip. You know, which I actually have a picture of it. Let's see if I can get it. All right, but that instrument is going to be used in order to put that idol inside of you. You know?
That device. Yeah. And the word device, when you go into that word, vice means like, you know, basically like a vice is like a wickedness or a trickery. You know? So that device that he's putting in you is like you're basically taking in a whole different spirit, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand that that thing is tangible, but it's also spiritual. Okay?
Barely see.
That's a device that they're going to be using.
Yeah.
That's a device that they're going to be using in order to pierce your skin. And inside of that board, like it said in Exodus 21:5, that awl all right, that instrument that they're going to use is really a instrument that's cut out, all right, circle. Like when you go to, when I used to work on engines, I wanted to bore my engine. And that means is that they use a machine to round out the place where you put the heads of the engine. So you use that bore instrument to make it wider. Well, they're going to use that bore instrument to really make a hole inside of your skin, all right, an incision to put something inside, which would be that RFID chip, mark of the beast. You know, so we'll get back in.
You're done with Exodus.
Okay.
Leviticus 19 too.
So we'll go back to Revelations 13. But like I said, that servant, all right, said, I'm not going to go out free because he wants his children. He wants his wife. He wants to have this life. He's too stuck to this world, all right, using that in the sense of what is to come, you know. But Yahweh Shai said, he that doesn't, all right, hate his mother, his father, and his son and his wife and his children also, and his life also, then you can't be a disciple of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so count your costs, like the scriptures say. All right, count your losses, man. Don't just count your blessings, count your losses. When you come into this truth, I might lose my jobs, I might lose my house, I might lose my women or my woman, I might lose my children, my car, I might be walking in the streets. It might be difficult. All right, that's how it was for Job. You see, Job went through some shit, man. You know, and the whole time he stayed faithful to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. While his friends, that's why it's also very important to be a brother. That's part of the law, to be a good brother, not just any type of brother. You know, you can't just say brother with your lips and say that's it. You know, because those people that Job called his friends, his brothers, hey, they were over there like, well, you're wicked. You're doing shit wrong. You know?
This is James chapter 5, verse 10. Take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endured. You have heard the patience of Job and have seen the end of Yahweh Shai. That Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh, is very pitiful and of tender mercy.
That's right. That's right. And in this land of captivity, Yahweh Shai would be like Django, all right? And his woman would be Israel, you know? And what did Django do? He went and he killed every single dude that stood in his way. And that's how Yahweh Shai is when he's going to come back, man. All right, so all of us that endured through all afflictions, all right, through fear and trembling of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, knowing that he is a faithful power, all right, those are the ones that are going to be beamed up to those chariots, so-called UFOs.
And you're gonna, and the elect is gonna be fed. Like I was gonna finish in Isaiah 65. You know, his servants are gonna eat, man. They're not gonna. They shout. They're not gonna be hungry. They're gonna eat. They're not gonna be thirsty. They're gonna drink.
That's right.
Everybody else is gonna be thirsty and hungry. You know, but because of the elect being faithful, you know, in the hour of temptation and rejecting these things, the RFID chip primarily being